Good morning. This is your host, Jeff Ski Kinsey, and it has been a few days. That's right. Hey, so what are we going to talk about this morning? We're going to talk about EVs, electric vehicles, and the joys and sometimes not so much joy that they bring. Is that fair enough? Hey, so by the way, we are sponsored by Rhino Island Media. If you need to get the word out about your business and you're in the hospitality business and there's an angle to it where EVs, electric vehicles, are involved, then we can help. How cool is that? Well, let me tell you a short story. I hope a relatively short story. Okay, in the world, we have rules, okay? Remember growing up, it's like, stay within shouting distance of your house. So your mom knows where you're at. She can call you home. So that's a rule. If you break it and your mom tries to find you, you get in trouble, right? Okay. So I said all that to say, we recently bought a used Nissan Leaf. It's a 2013 and great car. Only had like 58,000 miles on it. Looks like brand spanking new. And yes, because we got such a good deal on it, it's white. Or did we get such a good deal because it's white? So I got a really good deal on it. And why did I get a good deal? Because the battery is over half degraded. In other words, new, this car, it only got 75 miles range new, typically. But it's down to about 36 miles. So I got a great deal on it. So as I explained to my wife, it's our Nissan town car. Okay, we can drive around town in it. Couple rules. Number one, we don't leave town. Number two, we don't go out on the interstate, which runs through our town. And we avoid hills, okay, because that takes extra energy. And so, yep, you can run the air conditioner, you can run the radio, you can run all over town, and we have for over 2 months. Until this morning. Well, actually, the story really begins yesterday. I didn't have a chance to fully charge it. Things were going on. Stuff was happening. And so we do the running around town, and we decide to break the rule. We go to Dover, neighboring town. Just over the edge, so to speak. I stopped. I had to put a little more energy into it. But we broke a rule. We go home. So this morning I go to charge it. And I get to the hotel. We don't have home charging like a lot of people that own EVs. It's a challenge. So I go to the local hotel where I charge. I get there. I think I had about 11%, maybe 10 or 11% charge left when I get to the hotel. And there's 2 cars in the 2 spots. And I believe one of them was an ICE vehicle. I'm not positive. That wasn't my concern. It was obvious the 2 cars were in the spot. There's no way at this particular parking lot to charge if you're not in one of those 2 spots. It's surrounded by a big high curb and there's no way to get close enough. Anyhow, so it's like, I got to go to the dealership, which is only, I would say, 3 miles away. I doubt that it's 4. But as I'm driving along, the car drops down to 7%. And I think, no problem, going to be fine. Well, guess what? All of a sudden, it goes to 0%, and it shows me turtle mode, which means it slows down like a turtle to conserve some energy to get you off to the side of the road or whatever. And guess what? It gets me into the back of the dealership. There's a building, service centers around back, there's driveway around back. I pull in the back to drive around to the front to get charged. And guess what? Run out of juice. So I'm on the back corner and the charger is probably about 100 yards away. Well, one of the things you can do is put the car in neutral, and I think I could push it. It's very light. In fact, I might even have the grade working in my favor. There's a bit of a slant. But there's not enough juice left to put the car in neutral because it does use a 12-volt battery. So And that's one of the great things about the design is when you're charging the battery pack with a charger so that you can drive the car some distance, it also puts a little bit of energy in the 12 volt and keeps it up to date, up to spec, so to speak. But apparently in draining the battery pack, it also drains the 12 volt battery. And so now I don't have enough juice to put it in neutral. So, hey, AAA. Hey, so long story short, does this discourage me? Not at all. I broke the rule. I got penalized. What I should have done in hindsight is I should have just pulled into a parking spot at the hotel and waited until it became empty. But I was convinced for 4 miles at 10 or 11%, I had enough juice. Of course, it is dark. I had the headlights on. I had to use the wipers. And so it did not work out, but that's on me.